What's up, guys? This is Maverick here with episode 8 of KonoSuba. So last episode, various things happened, but I think the most important thing to come out of it is that Kazuma has made his decision. It seems that over this time, he has grown at least a little fond of his three female companions, even though they might be annoying, even though there are times when you want to punch them, even though they are all flawed in their own ways. At the end of the day, they are three cute female companions, right? And hey, at the very least, you could say that they make his life interesting and this world interesting, and that is important. Beyond that, we also had a run-in with Eris, and I do have my suspicions that she, well, I think since I said that, and you guys also sort of confirmed it, so Eris and Chris are sort of one the same, or at least they have some sort of bond between them. Now, I assume it's gonna be important, maybe. Otherwise, they wouldn't have specifically put that back here. So we'll leave it at that, right? So right now we are on episode 8, and I believe the season only has 10 episodes. That means that we are less than a third of the way through until the end of this season. I do wonder if we're going to have anything particular that makes us look forward to the second season, or is it going to be more of the same old, and watch Kazuma and company's antics in their adventures or misadventures in, well, doing quests and adventures, I guess. Anyways, let's find out together. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Uh... Didn't they already go through winter once? Are they literally here for 2 years now? That was a pretty provocative angle, by the way. So I guess with that kind of opening, we're probably gonna have to spend this episode figuring out, I guess maybe a more permanent residence, or perhaps going adventuring again, get some money, get some clothes. Speaking of adventuring, though, one thing that kind of came to my mind is, so they got rid of the what's that? What is that thing called again? Valahan, Darkhan, whatever that headless knight was, who was apparently one of the leaders of the Devil King or Demon Lord or Demon King's army, right? So we can presume that he was here on a special mission. Now that he has been eliminated, are they actually gonna send reinforcements or whatnot? Like, they should be kind of surprised that he was taken out at a relatively safe location for them, right? Perhaps that's gonna be the ending to this first season. Let's see here. And we're also missing that girl. I don't believe we've seen her yet. Hmm? What? What? Who? Did I skip an episode or something? No, there should be episode 8. I'm watching episode 8 right now, right? Yeah. Huh? Okay, I guess we're just supposed to accept this. Was this actually shown in the light novel before this? Or in the light novel it's the same sort of situation where no, they just literally just introduce her without any sort of pretense. Yeah. Well, like goddess-like followers? Why does Aqua like to use that method of strength? Is trying to say something? Yeah, very. What? One of the 8 leaders? Why do they translate Mao as Devil King? Most of the time it's translated as Demon Lord, isn't it? I mean, technically it's the same, but... Doesn't that include Yuda? Oh, I see. Really? What happened to your like knightly and chivalrous behavior? How did you turn into a lich in the first place? Come on, Kazuma. Learn something like raise undead or something. And some of my favorite light novels are those where the main character uses undead skills. Ooh. Rewriting your DNA. Fuck. Yep. Oh, the whole gang is here. Oh, they got a residence now? Ah, the haunted villa. That's true. Don't blow up the house though. Is that true though? Man, Megumin is really cute when she takes her eye patch off. I think Aqua might be telling the truth here. Where is she, though? The spirit drank it? Weren't you supposed to do that during the day? What the hell, Aqua? I mean, certainly you can try to, like, put some sort of anti-undead barrier. Here, right? What was the girl called again? Anne? Ooh. Now she calls her Aqua-sama. That is kind of creepy. Ah. Oh, he needs to use the toilet. Oh yeah. Shake him from the. Oh. Damn. Okay, that is really creepy. Oh. Is she in the toilet? Oh. What? Now? I'm pretty sure that this episode is gonna end with Kazuma wedding himself. Oh. Okay, so what in the world actually happens? Ah. So, it was you guys? Okay, I'm pretty sure that this is probably supposed to be a, Just don't admit to it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is probably a chapter within the, in the light novel? It seems too detailed to be just a backstory. Really? I would never have figured Kazuma to be someone like this. Damn, they've completely upgraded. She's gonna haunt the doll, isn't she? Wow, they are actually moving on into the world. I am impressed! And Kazuma did not wet himself. I am totally and completely shocked. Well, alright. See you guys after this. Alrighty, well, this episode certainly gave me a lot of surprises. I was actually not expecting this to turn out to be such a happy ending for Kazuma and the others, right? For one, even though they didn't really get the special prize in the end, or the reward for exorcising the evil spirits, they did get a pretty big-ass house to live in, right? It's literally a mansion, and an upper-class mansion at that. So, I would say, all in all, they came out of this with a pretty big net profit in any case. And not only that, I was super surprised that Kazuma did not wet his pants and embarrass himself at the end there. I would have, I would have bet money that that was how this situation, this farce would have concluded, right? Maybe with them being able to exercise the spirits and whatnot, but with Kazuma finally unable to hold it in and wetting his pants in the process. But apparently that did not happen, so, well, good on him, I guess. So we're introduced to a new character here, Wiz, who is a lich, apparently. I would probably guess and say that this is a chapter or an arc within the light novel, and the anime just chose to skip over it. And the reason for this is because it seems that Wiz is certainly a kind of an important character, and also the sort of backstory has too many the backstory in regards to Wiz's conditions, right? The entire thing with the graveyard and whatnot. I think it kind of impacts this particular episode a lot more than it would be something like typically you wouldn't write things like this, right? You wouldn't write things which are dependent on another event that happened in the past, and without actually writing the event and just using a sort of a flashback to give a general idea of the event. So I do feel like my gut instinct is that this is something that was in a light novel but was simply not adapted within the anime. Um, and I mean, even so, I think we can probably infer what happened. Aqua probably did something to ruin the situation, so they had to step into her place and whatnot. And then, long story short, we get into the situation that we see here, right? Although I do find it probably another, like I said, this episode surprised me a lot. Another big surprise was the fact that Wiz was actually one of the 8 leaders of the, what's it called again? They call it the Devil King, the Mao, right? So that means that they've already met 2 out of 8 of the leaders already, right? 1/4 of the leaders. Will we actually be getting one more before the end of the season? It would make sense in a way, I guess, and we do still have one more character we need to introduce, but we'll see, right? I do kind of applaud Kazuma for trying to learn an undead ability. Personally, I actually have a soft spot for necromancer and undead type of classes and skills and whatnot. Probably mostly due to my nostalgia from Diablo 2, right? Any of you homies out there playing loving Diablo 2 as well? So I've always had a soft spot for necromancers and whatnot, and really, I feel like there's too few light novels or web novels that have a necromancer as a protagonist, or have the protagonist use some undead powers or some necromancy based powers here and there, right? If I personally, like, when I play RPGs, I typically go for the magic using classes, and if there is an option to use undead abilities, necromancy abilities, I will always follow down that path. It's so disappointing to me that Japan doesn't have as many light novels that feature this type of character. I think, yeah, there's a few, right? I think one of the most famous and one that I have read before is actually Death Mage, or I think the full name is like Death Mage that doesn't want to die a 4th time, something like that. But the majority of the light novels that I have read that are good and feature necromancy or necromancers as the main characters are mostly Chinese light novels. And it might not exactly be a necromancer, but they will use some necromancy abilities here and there. I know. I think it might be a case where Japan is more, especially from the publisher's side, they might want the character to exhibit more morality, more on the good side of things. And I do think that one reason why I do like main characters that utilize necromancy skills as well is because typically most of the time those that do use these kinds of more evil skills, if you will, on the alignment chart, they fall more into the chaotic good or the neutral segment, which is what I identify with mostly as well. So that's probably why I like these main characters so much, and why I also like necromancy so much. But I guess, especially in Japan, the light novel scene with publishers and whatnot, they prefer if the main character displays more on the lawful side of moralities. And speaking of moralities, right? So again, another thing that kind of surprised me here was that Kazuma actually just completely gave up on the special prize. That actually took me really by surprise. For one thing, I didn't really think his character was one that would pass the situation up. Like, sure, they are kind of responsible for it in the first place, but if you really boil down to it, it wasn't like there wasn't even supposed to be this lich there guiding the spirits, right? She's like, if we're really going by the strict definition, she is actually someone that needs to be exterminated herself. I'm talking about Wiz here. And so there was going to be this gap in this situation anyways, right? So it really surprised me that Kazuma actually turned that money down, especially since nobody can trace it back to them. I would have, if I was him, I would actually have took the money, especially considering that we are in, what is it, 40 million in debt because of well, let's just say collateral damage whilst trying to fight against damn it, I forgot his name again. The Dullahan, basically. But yeah. So that's but I don't really think Kazuma is going to go too much down the undead route. I feel like what he's trying to do right now is basically learn some kind of skill from every single kind of class and then call it a day, right? A jack of all trades, literally. And then in terms of the episode, the development and whatnot, the only thing I want to comment on is on Megumin. So first of all, I gotta say I really prefer a lot more without her eye patch and without her hat. Like, yeah, I will fully agree, she is seriously cute there. I can see why she has so many fans. And beyond that, however, there's one thing that I have kind of noticed, and that is, it seems to me that right now, Kazuma is sharing the most intimate moments with Megumin, right? In fact, even in Darkness's case, you know, we've really not even seen much of her at all. And Aqua, while she was on screen, has always been more of the more annoying part, right? So we've had all three girls showing their crazy side to us and to Kazuma, but I think only Megumin is one who will show and share her more normal moments with Kazuma here. So definitely seeing a sort of bias in this first season for Megumin here. And yeah, that's basically all I want to say for this one. And like I said, there is, I believe, still one girl left, at least looking from the opening. One girl who we haven't been introduced to, one last character, which will probably be the basis for the final 2 episodes here. But anyways, enjoyable episode as always. Nice to see Kazuma and company moving up in the world, and let's hope that they can continue this trend. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week.